Hello there, my fellow Fibro peeps. How's it going? Happy Thursday. I think I'm live. I'm going to go ahead and start talking anyway because my feed is always backed up and looks weird. So it takes like forever. I don't know if it's like the bandwidth at our house. I think the bandwidth is pretty good though, but it might be my computer. But my computer's pretty new, pretty strong, but you know how that goes. You think you do something right and you don't, and you're like, oh, what did I do? But I always have to wait whenever I come on Facebook for it to like really pop up and show if I'm live or not. And it always looks so weird. And I don't know what I'm doing when I do that because, I look at them afterward and it looks like I'm just sitting there like kind of like I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm really not. I'm just waiting. I'm actually watching the little picture and saying, is that me live? Is that what's going on? I can't tell, right? Right. So that is what I do. So that is what I do. Anyway, so I want to get to it. So you know me, I am on this week and next week. I'm really pushing our 5-day no sugar challenge for fibromyalgia, chronic pain, and chronic fatigue syndrome because I feel it is that important for you to do. I feel like there are all these roadblocks, and this is one of them to help you feel better. So I have a question. My question is sugar your comfort food for fibromyalgia? Is it? Think about it. I mean, really sit and think if fibromyalgia or sugar is your comfort food for fibromyalgia. Because you're in pain, you're exhausted, and the only thing you want in this whole wide world is to feel good again. You don't sleep because you can't sleep. You're up and down all night long. You don't get good quality sleep. You're in pain all the time. And no matter what position you're in, be it standing, sitting, laying down on your side, or laying on your back and your legs popped up and bent, or if you're crouched over or slumped over, you can't get into a good, comfortable position no matter how hard you try. I know, I've been there. That's me. Not anymore. That was me all the time for years. I know that you deserve nothing more than to have comfort in your life again. So for many of you out there, just like myself, you have spent years being constantly uncomfortable. You've tried every single trick in the book to find how to get some semblance of comfort. And a lot of the time, nothing works. And if you're lucky, every once in a while, you'll find a magic trick that you can pull out of your hat and find that little piece of comfort that you've been longing for, right? So unfortunately, many people with fibromyalgia turn to sugar as their comfort food. And I will be the first to admit that I did the exact same thing. I couldn't stop turning to sugar. I thought I could not live without sugar. There was a point and time in my life where the only thing that was going right for me was the fact that I could eat sugar and mentally feel better. That spark of happiness would light up my brain like a kid on Christmas. So there's a big problem with that though. Sugar hurts fibromyalgia people. Bottom line, it doesn't help you. No matter how much you think it does, sugar actually makes your fibromyalgia symptoms worse. There's a huge list of foods out there that make your fibromyalgia symptoms worse. And, over time, we are going to work on moving through that list so you can be educated about what your real triggers are. But Sugar is in everything. I mean, everything. If you buy meat at the store and it's in a package, have you ever looked at the label? So have you read the labels of the foods that you buy? If not, I suggest you start reading them, because you will be shocked at how much sugar is in the boxes of food that you buy, the packages of food that you buy, the containers of food that you buy, the jars of food that you buy, just the bags of food. Did I say bags of food? Any kind of package of food that you buy. In the beverages that you buy, so much sugar everywhere. And sugar causes inflammation. So I know I sound like a broken record, but it's true. I've been there. I've been the sugar addict. I have been the one looking to sweets to help make me happy, because I was so desperate and so distraught for some kind of comfort in my life, because I couldn't find any, ever. I could never find any comfort. It took a lot of soul searching for me to really look deep inside of myself and make a decision that I was hurting myself instead of making myself feel better from fibromyalgia. So some of you know this about me and some of you don't. So right before I started to get better from fibromyalgia and finally see some relief in my symptoms, I was suicidal. I mean, I was laid out day after day after day, unable to function because of pain and exhaustion. While a lot of you find that the exhaustion to be like the most debilitating part of your fibromyalgia, I could handle it. I didn't care. I thought being exhausted was actually a blessing for me, because I would get so exhausted that I would literally pass out. There was one point where they thought that I had POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, which is your heart goes too fast and elevates, you stand up, it gets really fast, and you pass out. So they thought I had that, but I didn't. And then they thought I had epilepsy. So they wanted me to go get tested for that. And I never went, because I was told that they would take away my driver's license if they even had an inkling that I had epilepsy. So I had to make more changes, and I was able to make that go away on my own. But I mean, I have been through the ringer with fibromyalgia. So I get so exhausted, I would literally pass out, and I'd pass out for hours at a time. I couldn't sleep at night, but sometimes, I would pass out for days. There was one instance where I passed out for 60 hours. That's a 6 and a 0 after having some fruit salad that was made with orange juice. I was just like that within like half an hour. So had to leave the event. My husband had to rush me home. We had our one grandson with us at the time, and we had to go get him and rush me home, and I passed out, and I missed 2 days of work because of it. That was good times. So, the good thing about me passing out was that I didn't feel the pain when I was passed out, because I was in constant pain all of the time. I mean, it never stopped. So I had to make so many big changes and so many big decisions in my life. So first off, I couldn't get a diagnosis. It took 7 years. It took 15 doctors. And then I finally had 3 doctors confirm that I had fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome. I went to pain management once before in my life for about a year, and they gave me pain pills, and those didn't work. So nothing worked on my pain except for prednisone. And I found that out by accident because I was getting my shoulder treated. I had bursitis arthritis and rotator cuff tear. So, and I was like, oh my gosh, look at me. If they give me 120 milligrams of prednisone, I feel like a real person again. And it wasn't like crazy. You know, sometimes for some people, prednisone really takes them over the edge. No, I just actually felt like I was alive again. So the second time I was told by a rheumatologist that she couldn't help me and that she would refer me to pain management. So I knew at that moment that I had to do something about it. So I had already been on an elimination diet for a couple of years, and I saw many little wins here and there when it came to my symptoms. But the real turnaround in my life was when it came to feeling better from fibro, was my mentality and my attitude on how I was going to get myself better despite the lack of help from Western medicine. So mentally, I struggled with not being able to eat what I rightfully felt was the only comfort I had in my life. Sugar, right? Sugar's a drug, and it makes us feel good, but only for a very short period of time. That's when sugar starts acting like a real drug. You get that high, and then you get that crash. And when you get that crash, you crash real hard when you have fibromyalgia, right? So I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're probably sitting there going, oh my God, she totally gets it. Yes, I do. So all you want is that comfort, right? I mean, everywhere you turn, you're uncomfortable. You're miserable, you're in pain, you're exhausted. You can't even think straight anymore. Shouldn't you at least be allowed to eat some sugar so you can have at least that in your life? Just a little bit of comfort, right? So that was my attitude. I deserved it. I owed it to myself. So my family came to terms with sugar being one of the things that was holding me back from having a normal life again. I had to give up the anger, the anxiety, the depression, the bitterness of not being able to eat sugar like, quote unquote, everybody else in the world. So I had to change my thinking because my thinking was wrong. The more I researched and the more I studied and the more I learned about nutrition, the more I realized that we have been fed one big fat sugar lie after another. It doesn't make us happy. What sugar does is causes pain. It causes us to be exhausted. It keeps us from sleeping at night. It affects our brain and causes us to be confused and unable to think straight or to focus or to concentrate. So I realized that we as human beings were not designed to eat sugar every day. That's the bottom line. We are not supposed to eat sugar every day. Do you think that 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, people were eating sugar every day? No, they weren't. No. When it's hard to process, to get off that, that big sugar cane, it wasn't around most places. It's hard to grow fruit in the winter when you have 2 feet of snow on the ground. So the bottom line is, if you want to start feeling better from fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome, you cannot eat sugar every day. Your temporary comfort will turn into a crash of exhaustion and pain that is not worth it. You miss time from work. You miss time from your family. You miss time from doing things that you used to love to do. You enjoyed having hobbies and you can't do them anymore. This is what sugar does to you when you have fibromyalgia. So, in the 5-day no sugar challenge, you will learn the stepping stones of quitting sugar and getting it out of your life. The 5-day no sugar challenge is not an abrupt elimination of sugar on day 1. I'm getting a lot of concern about that. If that's what you're worried about, that is not what it is. If that's holding you back from signing up, put that out of your mind, take a leap and sign up. because that's not what it is. So the challenge is designed to help you prepare your home, prepare your body, and prepare your mind for the things that you need to do to eliminate sugar from your life. And I've gotten many emails, messages, comments where people have said, I know I'm addicted to sugar. So I want you to join us. I want you to sign up. I want you to share this challenge with a friend, a family member, or a loved one that has fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, or chronic pain. I want you to do this because, one, you care about these people in your life so much that it breaks your heart to watch them suffer every day, right? I know I'm a big crier. I'm a big crier in my old age. So, two, I want you to join us because you love yourself so much that you are tired of suffering day in and day out. I want you to know that you don't have to suffer every day and that you can dramatically reduce your fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome symptoms and live a full, productive life again. I want you to join us so you can learn about new comfort foods that actually nourish your body and make you feel good. I want you to learn about foods that give you energy as opposed to take it away. I want you to learn about foods that help eliminate pain instead of causing it. I want you to learn about foods that stop your fibromyalgia fog instead of leaving you tongue-tied because you can't think of words anymore. Right? So I want you to join us on the 5-day no sugar challenge for fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome because I want you to have comfort foods, just not sugar. So I can quit sugar to the point where I don't even eat fruit anymore. Like most days, I have nothing. If I can do it, anyone can do it because I have been a sugar addict for probably about 40 years. And that's a long time to be an addict. So to join up for the challenge, you need to register on a page that I have made. I am going to post it below. You have to register there. And once you register, you need to then hop on over to our private Facebook group and join there too. So your welcome kit will be emailed to you to get you started on the challenge. And then the extra support and some videos is going to happen in our Facebook group. So you are not alone in this. So I hope to see you soon at our 5-day no sugar challenge for fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome. I will see you later, peeps. Bye.